Hey there, sign of Scorpio. Hope you guys are doing good. This is Kim. I'm here to give you a message today. And I'm being called to focus a little bit more on people's spiritual gifts and abilities for my channel as a whole, actually, instead of divination, which I'll still do some divination. That's fine. But yeah, I just feel I'm feeling called to do it like this, like to talk about what's going on with you as far as spiritual gifts coming online, ascension symptoms, and maybe even entities or beings that you may have like a relationship with or to, maybe angels, whatever wants to come through is going to come through, basically. But it's going to be this kind of, I have an out there personality, and so I think that the out there readings are probably what I'm going to start focusing on more. It's being more authentic me for sure. And then I'm able to deliver you the most authentic, not boring messages that I can find for you. Sometimes when we watch a tarot Celtic cross, we're like, I kind of already knew all that stuff, right? So anyway, I'm taking a little bit of turn, and I hope you guys like it with the channel. So let's see what we've got using my Martian deck first for Scorpio. What do you have for Scorpio? Oh, Scorpio goodness. I didn't realize this. Wow. Hang on. I did not realize I have to edit this card real quick. Hang on. Apparently the Nagas have beautiful breasts, apparently. The Nagas, number 14. I have to cover that up, though, for YouTube. Lovers, erotica, and sexuality. Okay. Well, this is perfect for you, because you probably already know, but if you don't, I'll go ahead and let you know. Every sign it has a certain organ area that is assigned to that sign of what it basically rules over, And Scorpio rules over the reproductive organs, sexuality. And so for this to come out for you is perfect. It's kind of telling me that I'm on the right track as far as like what your message is going to be. Sexuality. This is right down your alley, or it is what you rule over. It is what you rule over. It says Nagas, lovers, erotica, sexuality. What else for Scorpio do you have? Maybe that's all I need to get from this deck. We'll see. It might be all I need to get from this deck. All right. Well, we'll get this one too. So I have beauty, nature, and patterns with the golden ratio. 31. It's a golden ratio. Okay, the golden ratio is the it is what they have found to be a pattern throughout nature, throughout everything that you know how they talk about how everything in science can basically be boiled down to a formula. That's kind of what they're talking about, because there's this spiral, and then you have the golden ratio number, the Fibonacci sequence, and it's perfection. It's how everything is all created. It is the beauty that's found within nature when it naturally blooms. There's something about maybe your sexuality that is very natural. Of course, it would come natural to you being a Scorpio, I think. So there's part of your message. Let's go into more. Let's see what else. Beauty, nature, and patterns. Okay, what else do you want Scorpio to know? What else do you want Scorpio to know? Saturn. The Drowned King in the reverse. Dissolution. And the Drowned King in the reverse. And Venus, which is love. Aphrodite. Look, I really think this is about you breaking some kind of pattern that you've been going through, having to do with sexuality or who you are intimate with. I don't know. It's like dissolving what you knew to be true. The Drowned King is usually like letting go of the ego. And it is in the reverse. There's something still that we have to dissolve or find resolve for. And there's a timeline that honestly feels like it's going to be changing for you. So with the Saturn and the time, I can also get the message here that you've been doing some, maybe even quantum leaping meditations, or something to get on a different timeline. And it may be that whatever you found love, beauty, and pleasure in, that you're finding that you just don't resonate with that anymore. And so there's something maybe changing. And so it's like the old version of you is dissolving. Problems are dissolving with the dissolution too. Actually, let's get this. I'm going to get this little animal deck real quick. Tell me what we need to dissolve. What do we need to dissolve? What is that about? Okay, well, it's about it's about your clairvoyance, like that you are absolutely clear on what you have gone through already up until this point. This is clairvoyance, and this rising phoenix means that you're ready to rise out of situations that were almost like associated with the old you or an old timeline. That's what I am getting. So rising above, rising from the ashes, something totally new, like new form. What are the gifts and abilities here for Scorpio? Also, tell us about that. The communicator. Life path number 3, the communicator, Jupiter. And youth director, spiritual support, educate, lead by example, and volunteer. If you are part of the Delta generation of Indigo Child, meaning that your birth date would be between 1988 and 1998, then this message is even more important for you. So your intuition with this dissolution card is really on point. You can feel things out, basically. And they're saying to also, even if your birthday is not during those times, to look up the Rainbow Children, Indigo Child, as being part of the wave of volunteers that are here to assist humanity, to help everybody, to help the earth and other people to raise and ascend. The life path number 3 too is the communicator. So it means that whatever you have to communicate, it will actually aid a lot in your expansion and growth, just as you as a person. I have clairaudience with clear hearing. And the owl is really wise with all of its senses, right? Has sharp senses. So the clairaudience can come in many different ways for different people. There's no right or wrong way to say that you experience a clair or a gift or an ability. You're sensing it in your own unique way. So the way that you have clairaudience might be different than the way another person has clairaudience. I can think of different examples here. So such as people that have experience, which happened to me. It's happened to me a few times, a few different times. The clairaudient tones that almost like tinnitus, but it was, in my case, it was ruled out by the doctor that it was like not that, but it sure sounds like that. But it was a tone that started during my awakening process around 2017. And it never went away. And it in the very beginning, it was really annoying. Always very loud and always there. No matter what I did, like this was always there. This tone. And then you'll sometimes get different frequencies of hearing, you know, like if you know, trying to tip you off. For some people, it's if you're listening to something that is, your spirit guides want you to know that is really resonating with you, then you might hear a sharp, you know, like a nee sound in your, like a different frequency where it's like it just happens for a second to let you know that during that time, or whoever you're in front of, that, hey, this is something to pay attention to, or this is something true. For others, it might be a bell or a tone that alerts you to when something is not feeling right. It just all depends on how you're interpreting it, and you're going to interpret it differently than anybody else. Now, it doesn't just have to be that. I have actually heard when my mother in the photo here, you can't see, when my mother in the photo there with that light coming from her head, when she passed away, the night that she had passed away, she came to me through auditory after she had actually passed away, and said her name in her voice. And so that was special, and it was an experience that was just another one of those things where that was the first time I actually heard another person's voice. And it was so strange because it wasn't in my head, it was in my left ear. I specifically remember that. Like, it was actually auditorily heard just by me in my left ear, which is usually the spiritual side. So that makes sense now thinking about that part. But, so you can have it like that. And some people live their lives and they actually do hear other spirits. I don't hear spirit speaking or anything like that, but I know that there are some people out there that do have those gifts and abilities. And so you might be one of those people also. So clairaudience here with the clear hearing, the ability to hear things that other people can't hear, especially when I see the owl, because I really think of the owl as, you know, you're tapping into something that other people have not tapped into or aren't as tapped into as you. Your senses are like super sharp, super clear. I would say you're very empathic with the dissolution card too. Very empathic. You're definitely a light worker. So that is the next card out, is light worker. Awakened healer, a leader, and a truth seeker is what you are. You also have been given signs by the angel numbers wanting me to talk a little bit about what a light worker is. Okay. Wanting me to talk about what a light worker is. Well, I've never gotten that request here from Spirit. But, all right. So, a light worker. What is a light worker? Okay, a light worker is somebody that knows their divinity. A light worker is somebody that chooses peace and love over any other over any other emotion here on earth. A light worker is someone that either they just sit and hold light and space for everyone else. They don't really have to do a single thing in their lifetime except hold the light. Sometimes light workers are people who have volunteered to come here, maybe to even heal others, with the presence of their light. Their light can, it can awaken demons in people. The light worker is a very strong archetype. It is a person who has, they feel different. They feel different when they're here. I got confirmation from the cat. They feel different when they're here. Because they don't see, a light worker doesn't see really any other option other than embodiment of the light. Even when they've gone through a hard time, even when they've made choices that weren't necessarily of the light, they always go back to the whole, no, I'm made of light. I know what I should do. You know, a light worker is someone who is here for purpose. Is here for purpose. But that gets really tricky, because the tricky part is that it's really more important just to be you and to hold space. Because you know, as well as I do, there's so many challenges here on Earth that not all people make it through, you know. Not all people make it through hard times. And so it's very important for some of us to hold the space of light, love, compassion, and understanding. You might be the only person that individual has run into in a very long time, who sees things just through the eyes of light and love. Whoa. Of light and love. Okay. And the cat just wanting to say hi. But, yeah, that's the angel. You're probably an angel too. You're probably a light worker too. All right. That's Sasha. Okay. So you can be any, how would you know? How would you know if you're a light worker? Well, you know what? I can recommend a really good channel, actually. I can recommend a good channel. If you wanted to look up Dolores Cannon or Cryon, The Lightworker's Way is a channeling that he does that has a really good definition of light worker, because it is people that have woken up to the fact that they are here to embody light, and it's part, goodness, Sasha, it's part of their purpose to bring that out in everybody else. It's really getting the cat super excited here. I don't know why, but it is. She doesn't usually get like this. She's all about the light worker talk, okay? She's all about the light worker talk. All right, let's get down. Come on, let's get down. Yeah, well, let's get, all right. All right. Light worker away. Yeah, so the Cryon channeling, Kryon come on now. Channeling is good. The Lightworker's Way, that's on YouTube. You can find it. And then Dolores Cannon has definitions of the Lightworker, because I know I didn't do it justice, but there's also different waves of volunteers. I don't think that's really important to know all the different dates and things like that, but just to know that you've probably been through a lot and you're here for a reason. You're here because you're here to shine your light. That is the reason. Whew. And to help Earth ascend and to help everybody else ascend. Yeah. Whew. All right. So guys, the dates that are really important, if your date of birth was between 1978 to 1998, then you're part of the Indigo Child waves of volunteers. Dolores Cannon described that as being souls that she regressed people on Earth. She actually did that for regression for the U.S., I think it was the Army. It was the U.S. government for sure. It was originally just to find out about extraterrestrial contact, like abductee stories. But then she regressed them before they were born. And they started telling stories of soul groups. They started telling stories about how they were asked to come to Earth. That the planet Earth was having a sort of crisis. And was in need desperately of more light. And would you come? You know, would you come? Would you volunteer? And I'm sure everybody that was asked happily volunteered, because these are the people, you are part of the group of people who are highly advanced before you got here. This place could have been a shock, I think. I would think it would be like living in a penthouse to, okay, now you're in the bottom basement. By the way, is it okay if you're in the garage? Yeah, you'll be next to a car. You don't really have a bathroom. It's probably outside wherever you can find a place. That's Earth. That's what so you went from something really big and advanced to Earth, okay? And then having to experience these extreme karma, time restriction, all of those things that you experience on Earth, that's what you experienced. And so I'm sure we were all kind of surprised at the harshness, even though I'm sure we were told what it was going to be like. I'm sure of that. So, okay, I have angel numbers, sequences of numbers that carry divine guidance. You've probably been seeing angel numbers for a very long time. Numbers are really important just in this realm anyway because of the golden ratio. Numbers are extremely important. They seem to be part of the whole, like it's all one big equation here. And so when you see these numbers, I really pick up on that they're activations for people. Almost like looking at the stars, like there could be something activated within you just by glancing at the stars, or just by glancing at some type of geometric shape or symbol, like sacred geometry, you know, just staring at something would actually activate something in you. And I think that that's what angel numbers do. They also oftentimes give us confirmation. You just have to use wise discernment on that too, right? With telepathy, I have thought reading, extrasensory perception. Thought reading and extrasensory perception. And I'm being drawn to the owl too. I really feel like starseed energy with this owl. This was in my dream. The owl was in my dream a few nights ago too, about a baby owl hatching. And so I said in that dream, and I believe it true to this to now, is that there's new information, new wisdom, and that probably means there's new activations going on, especially with light workers. People who already embody the light, so are already open to the information that's for the highest good. Okay, now telepathy is thought reading, extrasensory perception is when we're able to read another person's mind. And I know this is one of those things where, you know, with the Clairaudient, I did tell my doctor about the Clairaudience. I would certainly never tell anybody if I've had experiences with telepathy. Not like a professional, because hey, stop. Because it might not be wise, because it's not well understood. There is research being done, and there is research on consciousness and access to the field of information, the quantum field. There's a lot of scientists believe that it's possible, but we're still in that type of society where I just wouldn't tell many people. Now, how do you know if this stuff is happening to you? Well, you just know. You just know, and you know extra when you seem to realize that you pick up on what people are, even what they're thinking but not saying. I can see how that could be confusing from empath to telepathy, because sometimes it's different. Sometimes it's different. I don't exactly know where I'm going with that, but I do know that, like, okay, with telepathy, you just know what somebody else is about to say. You may finish people's words or finish people's sentences. You may answer a question before somebody has asked. You may ask a question about some kind of motive that you know somebody else is going to do before they do it. And then they're like, and I have had that happen to me, like, well, how did you know I was going to do that? And so it would be easy for some people to say that, okay, well, that's just smarts or you being intelligent. But I don't know. I think some people come here with some extra abilities, especially if you study a little bit more into indigo children and light worker, then you would probably feel the way I do, that maybe everybody has the ability, but not everybody has certain things turned on or activated because they may have it closed off due to their belief systems. How they were raised. There are some people that believe that that stuff is evil, you know. Oh, well, if you can do that, you better shut it off because it's something bad causing it. That's what some people believe. And so that belief would cause you to either shut it off, shut it down, or demonize it. And then so, well, one, it doesn't get studied, right? And then two, you don't get to develop it, and all these things can be developed too. And there's that Akashic Records. Nice. This was an old version of Twitter. the Twitter platform, the old Twitter platform, or any kind of media, social media where you have communication. Nice. Nice, that one. Okay, that one's nice to get. Akashic Records, All Souls, Universal Events, Past, Present, and Future. And then Ascension number 8 here. When this pops out, that means that those chakras that are located above your crown chakra, the 8, 9, 10, are the ones that lead you to better connection with your higher self. Ultimately, they're going to unlock more light and information towards your soul purpose or the reason that you're even here. And you know what's interesting is with this Twitter platform, it's about communicating, right? And it's right underneath the communicator with Jupiter. So that's a little bit synchronistic there. So when these become activated, yeah, you're able to tap into higher frequencies. You're able to get downloads and have a stronger connection with your higher self, meaning that your life has turned from, I want the house, I want the car, I want the happy Christmas, to, oh, I want to be doing something that makes me feel like I'm fulfilling my purpose on earth as a soul. I want to make sure I came here to do what I came here to do. That gets like turned on. It's like a light that gets turned on. And all of a sudden, our motives, our intentions change, and our desires to manifest and create, they're different desires. And so that's why I think it is good to tap into whatever it's talking here about your sensuality, the lovers, erotica, and then the beauty and the pleasures on earth that you can have. Because I think it's saying to really tap into the pleasure on earth that is tied into your soul purpose, your life mission. And then the old you and the old things that were really just attached to what dies here, those are dissolving. Those things are dissolving. That would be the ego construct. It's not bad to have an ego. You have, you can't, it's not bad to have something that does not want you to die, but you can, because you have to watch out for yourself on this planet. You do. And sometimes it is a matter of survival. However, it's not good to stay in a state of survival, or, the fight or flight syndrome. Like you don't want that. You don't want that because you don't want to be stuck in a fear base, or fear driving every single action, So, but it's not bad to have to integrate, because this place of earth is about survival sometimes. Okay, I have 13. You're a conscientious worker with a knack for coming up with creative ideas, turning them into something real. An optimistic but practical outlook keeps you determined and on track as you work steadily towards your goals. I am confident. And 12-12, stay focused on your best possible future. Remain optimistic throughout your entire journey. Your angels are right behind you as you turn your dreams into reality. I am focused. As well as master number 44, your angels are encouraging you to continue with your present life path with diligence and determination. And even greater success will come in the future. Know that you are supported. I am supported with master number 44. I don't know why, but I feel like looking, yay, I felt like looking right underneath that. 888, as you focus on all the wonderful things that surround you, you're clearing the path for more positive energy to flow into all areas of your life, creating a place for abundance. I am abundant, 888. And those are your messages. Scorpio, hope you liked your reading. I'm sending you love and light. Bye-bye.